What is going on, beautiful people? It's your boy here, Westy from A Connection TV, here on YouTube, the one place on the World Wide Web where we actually adopt similar connections despite our differences. And welcome to my channel. I'm here to talk to you guys about the challenge, season 40's latest episode. Listen, it was a very good episode, very juicy, very long, and we got a challenge elimination at the end. So I'm here for it, okay? We're gonna talk about Cara versus Laurel. We're going to talk about people hating on Kyland Young now. We're going to talk about this crazy, easy elimination where people are saying that Tina got the easy board because her nails easily came out. And everyone else who tried to do the Tina method wasn't able to get their nails out. They actually bent. So it's very interesting about that. And yeah, there was a lot that happened and I have a lot of notes. So let's get into it. And then at the end of this video, if my old mind remembers, I am going to go over what's happening on Twitter. So let's start. So we had to go 2 weeks or a week without seeing the challenge because the whack-ass MTV Music Awards were on last week. Even though they had the highest number in the last 4 years, whatever kind of stat that was, it was still trash. It was whack. I didn't care for the MTV Music Awards. The only performance I really liked and really thought was like a magical performance was Katy Perry and Dolce, but that's not what you're here to hear me talk about. But CT and a few others decided to be targets. We lost Anissa and we lost Horacio 2 weeks ago. And CT's like saying, I don't care, I'll be a target, it's not a problem. You know, I'm down for the team, hip hip hooray. And everyone's like frightened for their life to go against a CT. But I've realized early on with the season that it's literally anybody's game. They're not all hall brawls, they're not all, you know, pull the pipe, the stick from the person's wrist. They're not all burly, needed muscle needing kind of challenges or elimination rounds. They aren't. They're very universal, so to speak. I mean, they had to pull nails out of a freaking wall and nail them back. I don't know who the hell thought of this, but whatever. So, you know, everyone being scared of TT is, you know, because he is the legend, he is the king, he is the icon. I get all of that, but still, you just never know what you're going to be up against. We get this bit where Olivia, of all people, is challenging the integrity of Josh. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, you know, there is room for improvement. There is room for, you know, making up, for forgiveness, you know, all of that. And in my mind, I'm like, does Olivia have the ability to sit on that? You know, can she be redeemed? I don't know. But the way that she's talking to Josh, as if she's never betrayed or backstabbed anyone, is very interesting. She's coming from this place of like sitting on a high horse. Then she comes out of her mouth and she says, I want to be on a team with heroes, with dogs. I don't want to be on a team with someone who doesn't have a backbone. And I'm like, girl, just the last season, 3-9, you were the type of person that you saying that you only want to work with. You were not that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about? So it's just very interesting how Olivia feels that she has the ability to talk this way. To Josh, sure, I get it. Josh has been and is, you know, not a bold player, but I'm like, girl, that was just 1 season ago. Like, what are we talking about? You're not that girl. You're not the hero. You're not the dog. You're not even the cat. Maybe you're trying to change so you can be that, but in this moment, too early, you're not there yet, sis. Stop. Brad is upset that Emily is a target. He likes her a lot. In my mind, I'm like, okay, I'm trying to figure out who are going to be the ones to exit. I'm feeling like Emily's going to go. Tina then says that she feels safe because she is partnered with CT. In my mind, I'm like, girl, this is not a partnered elimination. Just because you're paired up with somebody doesn't mean that you're going to stick around. Look at Tony. Tony was paired up with Avery, got the boot. Anissa was paired up with Derek. The producer saved Derek. Anissa got the boot. You know what I'm saying? So Tina, you can very well get the boot as well. Or CT can get the boot. Just because you're playing with him or you're in elimination with him, I should say, does not mean that you're going to win. Then we get this clip of Laurel and Cara playing badminton outside, or like I don't know what the game that they were playing was called, but they had two paddles and they were hitting balls at each other. So whatever that was, they were playing it. I was confused, and immediately I said, what the is going on here? I don't for 1 second understand Cara. I do not get her. I really don't. And as a matter of fact, I don't even get Laurel, to be honest. Both these bras do not like each other. But even though they rag on each other, they demean each other, they talk bad about each other, they criticize each other in post confessionals all the freaking time, they're sitting here smiling in front of each other, playing fucking paddle, whatever the hell they were playing. And I'm just like, why? Then we see Olivia being blessed by laying with Theo. And I'm saying that because Theo's fine. And I would choose Theo over Olivia any day. And then Olivia sees the camera and she's like, look over there, look over there. The cameraman is steady looking at Theo. And Olivia's like, no. Olivia's like, no, look over there. So the cameraman's like, oh, okay, fine. I can look over here. And we see Devin and Michelle kissing. Barf. Like, I love Devin, and I used to care for Michelle, but I don't know. Two mastermind strategists seeing attraction within one another. I see it. I see it clear as day. And I'm happy for Devin if he's happy, because I like Devin. Michelle, not so much. But is it me, or is it just whatever? CT and Johnny have a conversation about the couples that are coupling. And Johnny makes it known that he only has his career and his job because that girl, the tall Amazonian looking chick, what was her name? I forget her name. Mariah. Mariah was Johnny's known last conquest, and Mariah just shit it all on him on TV. It was very interesting. It was very dope. But whatever. He just has himself, his career, and his squirrel. Nehemiah approaches Devin to have some kind of agreement that, if any one of them are thrown in or whatever, the other won't say their name if they have the ability to have power. Something along them lines. Either way, Nehemiah is talking to Devin. I like Nehemiah. I think Nehemiah is dope. He's super dope. And I love his comedic reviews on his Instagram. But in my mind, I'm like, if y'all already don't have something significant with the other era, do you really think a deal could be? Well, obviously it can, because Devin spoke to Kyland and Olivia and struck that deal. So I guess deals can happen. But in my mind, I'm like, Nehemiah and Devin. I don't see Nehemiah and Devin together. I just don't see it. Devin ends up not wanting to work with Nehemiah because for whatever reason, he says that it just doesn't feel right. In the mix of that conversation, he was saying that he would have to speak to Tori first in order to secure something like this. Nehemiah not speaking to Emily, who was his targeted partner. It's very interesting how that dynamic worked. And then we have Josh feeling a little frustrated because people are coining him and his alleged friends. I mean, just the other episode, he said that Tori is not his friend ever, whatever. But they call them the Vacation Alliance, and I don't know. I don't follow Tori. I think I do follow. I don't follow them. Josh has me blocked. I don't follow those people. I think I followed Devin out of the group that was mentioned. Damn for sure don't follow nobody's Johnny. But apparently they're cool outside of the house and they take trips together. There's nothing wrong with that. The targets from Era 1 are CT and Tina. The targets from Era 2 are Nehemiah and Emily. The targets from Era 3 are Devin and Tori. And the targets from Era 4 are Olivia and baby daddy Kyland. Now I know a lot of y'all are hating on Kyland in social media. I was just watching them live with him, Ryan, and I want to say the other gay boy is Derek. I think that's his name. Don't quote me. I'm bad with names. And Kyland was doing a lot of deflecting on the live. Kind of like not really answering the question, but just in a long, drawn-out way. And it gave deflection. I love Kyland, but it just did. Kyland also made mention to the fact that everything that we saw in the episode, like how the argument started, what they were going back and forth about or whatever, like he wasn't like there when all of that was happening. And throughout his stay at the house, he would see things that would lead him to believe that either it takes two to tango, or that, you know, at least Laurel is not alone in this fight or whatever have you. So it was very interesting hearing this take, but I still need a clear conversation with Kyland because I'm not understanding why he said what he said on the show. But in his defense, he's not the only one that said anything or said something. Emily said something as well, and which was very interesting because Cara made this whole thing to defend Michelle and Emily. And so for Emily to even say something at the end says that clearly we don't see everything in the show or what's edited or whatever. We don't see everything that goes on. And to Kyland's point, it takes two to tango. Because let's be clear. Okay, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there first. Let me not get ahead of myself. The challenge is called Fast Pass, and we start Fast Pass off. Era 1 is bombing like usual. They are doing horrible this entire season. Era 4 seems to be steamrolling ahead. No one wants to listen to Tina, and Jordan is arguing at everyone, especially Tori. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, these are some legends in this show on this show, and they can't even like get it together. Which was interesting is that we did not see any Johnny Bananas during this whole challenge. I thought that was interesting. Like if we saw him, he was probably like in there for like a hot second, but we didn't really see him. Anyways, Era 4 ends up winning, and Baby Dally and Olivia don't have to go into elimination, and I'm here for it. I'm definitely here for it. When Era 4 wins, Theo reaches out for a kiss to Olivia, and Olivia in the slow motion is like shocked as she seemingly she's like pulling away, but then they still kiss. I thought that was very interesting. Clearly they like each other. Clearly she likes him, but I just thought that shot was interesting how the cameramen and the editors clipped that in. Just it looked awkward to me. It looked awkward. Kyland and Olivia are the winners, along with their Era 4 squad, and they have to pick who they want to go in. Now, right away, we get this clip of Nehemiah saying that he was eliminated from CT the last challenge he was in, or last elimination he was in, and he does not want to relive that. He wants to try to do different, and he honestly doesn't want to go against CT because he thinks that he will lose. Everyone thinks that they're going to lose against CT, but need I remind you that freaking, what was his name? Oh, jeez, I'm so horrible with names. Michelle's brother, not brother, but like, he was Norris's friend, and he went against Norris, and like he was really, really evil. Season 39, I forget his name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Him. He beat CT in the little chain thing where they had to break through and get through the door. So CT is beatable. He is. He's very beatable. Corey has a conversation with Nehemiah. Corey thinks that he can trust Nehemiah more so than he can trust the people on his own team. Jordan's making deals with Laurel. No one really cares about what Corey got going on. So he's making side deals or having communications with people in different eras. I feel like once a team or an era loses majority of their players, it's either A, going to be every man for himself, or B, like a paired up system. So I think this team era thing is not going to last the duration of this freaking challenge, because no matter what, if your era goes in, you're losing a player, and people's players are dwindling down. So before we got to the round table, Nehemiah approached Kyland and Olivia about like a side deal or whatever the case may be. Then when we get into the round table, Olivia points it out how everyone is having these deals and these alliances and whatever made. Then Nehemiah chimes in, which gives Devin the ammunition to throw the entire chime in back on him. Because lo and behold, Nehemiah approached Kyland saying that Devin approached him for some kind of deal, when in actuality, Nehemiah is the one that approached Devin. Tori didn't even have to say anything because Devin is a G with this. And I don't know why Nehemiah thought he could try him, but Devin is a G at this. So Devin already knew what it was, and he easily outtook Nehemiah. Tina and CT didn't have to say anything in this conversation or roundtable at all. And I was just like, damn, this sucks for Nehemiah because he's definitely going in. But this aggravates Tina and Emily because they feel that it's clear that Era 3 and Era 4 are working together. And Tina's like, I'd rather see some sort of transparency. This is not okay. I don't really like this or whatever. But I'm like, girl, if Era 1 was tag team with Era 2, y'all would have better shot and better chances. But you have Laurel on the team she's sabotaging her own freaking team because she doesn't want her teammate to win. It's very interesting. It's very calculated and it's very trashery to me. Laurel then comes into Josh's room or whoever's room. Josh is sleeping in the room with Tori, I think it is, or whatever. Michelle is sitting there having a conversation with them, and Laurel comes in throwing things at people, and she throws it on Michelle's lap. She realizes that it is Michelle and not Avery, so she takes the thing off her lap and says, my bad, I thought you were Avery, or whatever the case may be. Then we move on to Michelle feeling some sort of way about it. You know, Michelle is all into her feelings and all into her feelings and all into her feelings. But season 39, not so much. Season 39, she's very calculated, very villainous. This time, she's back into her feelings now. She's back into her feelings. So she's feeling something and she approaches Laurel about it. And Laurel is very dismissive, very, I don't care what you're talking about. Very, why are you breathing my same air, Michelle? You threw me in. I don't like you. It's clear as day. In this moment, I'm not on either one's side. Well, kind of like on Laurel's side because I don't really care for Michelle because she did what she did to Nerese. You know what I'm saying? And Michelle did what she did to Laurel. At the time, that was kind of effed up. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. I don't really care no parts or have no parts about, like, I don't like Laurel either. But between these two, I'm Team Laurel in this instance. Cara comes into the mix and she's standing there. And in my mind, I'm like, why are you standing here? What are you about to say something? Do you know what they're talking about? Do you have an understanding as to why? Then we get this clip of Cara, or this audio narration of Cara talking about how she can relate to Michelle because one time, at one point in the challenge, she was like Michelle and Laurel was handling her like Michelle. And I was like, girl, leave this alone. After what happened with Nicole prior season, first of all, why are you even playing games with this broad out in the backyard? And why are you inserting yourself in something that has absolutely nothing to do with you? I feel like Cara is so caught up in the mix of wanting to prove that Laurel is wrong or wanting to be the hero against the villain and, you know, shame Laurel and make Laurel look bad on TV. I'm thinking that that's a part of Cara's makeup with regards to Laurel. I don't know what kind of twisted, demented thing that is, but I feel like it's that. Because any person that has that much mental trauma or whatever over this broad would leave this broad alone. The fact that Cara said that she had to go seek therapy after their altercation leads me to believe that either the therapy is not working or not giving her good advice, or she's just not listening to the therapist. Because no one in that field with the degree equipped to give some mental counsel is going to tell that person that feels victimized every time they're dealing with the villain to keep antagonizing or going after the villain. Cara needs to leave Laurel alone. Let Laurel sink herself. Laurel has been trash and will always be trash. The way she treated Emily, the way she tried to mock Emily, or not even mock, but the way she tried to copy Emily's drop style on the trivia thing, what she did and how she did it with Laurel. And the fact that she threw the challenge, the one-sided, underhanded deal that she did with Jordan. Laurel is here for herself and herself only. It's clear as day the type of person that she is, one, way before this car incident, but just how she handled her team dynamic and tried to sabotage her own freaking team. She's trash. She's been gunning for Cara from the very beginning, which I don't even understand. Like, after she even gunned for you in the very beginning of the episode, you're still talking to this broad. I don't understand it, and you're still playing Batman with this bitch. It's very confusing to me, and it just does not make sense. It's very toxic. She needs to leave Laurel alone, but she doesn't. She interjects herself in the conversation with Michelle. She says, don't worry, Michelle, I'll be your friend. Weren't you the one that got eliminated by Michelle because you tried to call her out because she did something? Who did she do something to? She did something to somebody. You tried to call her out on it. You threw her in an elimination and she beat you. But you want to be her friend or whatever outside of this. Okay, fine. Have your moment, Cara, where you're the hero and Laurel's the fucking villain. Fine. But then from there, you go to Emily because you see that Emily is becoming a target with Laurel and you trash the hell out of Laurel. Saying all true things, sure, maybe. But you trashed the hell out of her. I just knew Laurel was going to walk in the room. And in my mind, I'm like, that's the reason why they battled it out in in whatever room that was. But no. Laurel doesn't hear any of this. The cameras do, though. And I feel like this is a moment for Cara to be on camera time. I swear I feel like this. I love Cara. I like her way better than Laurel, but I have to call a spade a spade. She's carrying on because the cameras are there. She's carrying on, right? Then from there, you take Michelle to find Laurel and you try to get on Laurel's good side? No, you don't get on Laurel's good side. You try to play the hero to the villain in front of the cameras. And I'm going to tell you what happened in this moment. I trust me, I do not like Laurel one bit. But in this particular moment, Cara and Michelle approach Laurel. Laurel's minding her fucking business, okay? Laurel then looks to her right, sees the cameras, and she smiles and laughs immediately. So much so that you hear Cara saying, don't be laughing, or whatever the case may be. Laurel knew what the moment was going to give and what Cara was trying to achieve. And Laurel, villain all day, Thanos all day, did not give Cara the satisfaction of one-upping her on film. That is completely what happened, outside of just Laurel being annoyed and feeling like Cara tried to do her big one, and Laurel didn't even send for her, but Cara came anyway. Laurel handed Cara her ass to kiss. Where Laurel went incorrect, though, was how she brought up traumatizing moments that happened with Abe and somebody else, and then she brought Pauline's name into it, trying to be very, very personal, derogatory, and just demean her and make her feel worthless and like shit. You know, it was very interesting when Cara was standing literally up against Laurel. She was so tiny. This whole imagery was giving big sister, little sister, big sister, little sister. Little sister wanting to win up on her big sister not giving a flying fuck whatsoever, and just trash talking her like she's clearly, not only is she shorter than her, but really beneath her. This moment was so unnecessary. Laurel went so far and beyond, dropping it below the belt. But at the same time, Cara asked for this onslaught. She did. Cara did not have to bother that girl. Cara could have just went on her merry way. She trash talked Laurel to Emily. She got her rocks off. And she saved Michelle and said, we're friends. She got her rocks off. But Cara wanted more, and Cara wanted to feel vindicated. All of this is coming from off the hills. Think about all the times that Cara says that she just wants to beat Laurel. She just wants to beat Laurel. I think this was some kind of thing where she felt like she needed to beat Laurel at something or make Laurel see the error in her ways, because she called out the situation with Laurel, she called out the situation with Emily, and she called out the situation with Michelle. But Cara is always going to be the little sister to Laurel's big sister. That's it. She's always going to be the little sister. No matter how strong, no matter how much of a legend, no matter how much of an icon TJ says this girl is, she acts so small compared to Laurel, who's just complete trash. And in my mind, for as awesome as Cara seems to be, she just needs to live in that and understand that and just make that be the focus and stop giving up about Laurel. It's so fucking annoying. It's so annoying because I'm watching her. First of all, I was pissed off that she was playing Batman with this broad in the backyard. Then I was pissed off when she interjected herself in Michelle's battle when you didn't even care for Michelle that last season and you called her out and she made you lose. Maybe y'all made up. Maybe y'all are cool now. Whatever. But that was none of your freaking business. Michelle was being a baby by following after Laurel. Like, oh my God, you don't like me. Why you don't like me? Stop being a freaking baby to this beast. Stop being a baby. People come into the room. Corey is off to the side, and you see that he doesn't really feel Laurel. He's aggravated with Laurel. And, you know, I did like the fact that when Laurel said, "Oh, I've defended you," blah, 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 they brought up season 21, Rivals. I'm like, damn, that was so freaking long ago. You mean to tell me that you're really thinking that you're having Cara's back from that long time ago? When Cara was just on season 39 and had your back against that whack-ass Nicole, and you screamed at her and, like, looked so freaking dumb. The fact that she even won the competition is just so aggravating to me. But you look so freaking dumb, okay? It is what it is. It is what it is. Laura ends up making Cara cry, and you know everybody's feeling bad for her, or whatever the case may be. Allegedly, the producers that was trying to stand in between them ended up crying or whatever, and Cara had to go seek mental help or whatever, like counseling or whatever after that moment. Cara should have just left Laurel alone. Period. Laurel is her own woman. Laurel doesn't back down from anybody. Damn for sure wasn't going to back down to no Cara. And so Cara just should have left well enough alone and did not give a damn about nobody's Laurel. If Cara comes on another challenge and it's a Cara-Laurel situation, that's just a person just asking for it. She's asking for it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's asking for it. Is Laurel trash? Yes, she is. Laurel is trash. Okay, she's very, very trash. She hits below the belt. It's not cute. It's not pretty, hot, and or tempting at all. But the situation between Laurel and Cara would not have happened if Cara would have just minded her business and just stayed away from the bitch. Like, it was just, whatever. Anyways, we get past that. Then we get the comments of, we see that Theo and Kyland go find Laurel. They hero Laurel out. And they're like, not necessarily team Laurel, but they're like on Laurel's side. Whatever. We get a conversation with John A. I don't like her because what she did to Kellyanne was trash. But whatever. We get a conversation with John A. and CT. And John A. is like, I don't want to throw myself in. I don't want to do elimination. Like, why did I come all this way to just volunteer myself just because the team is volunteering themselves? I'm like, okay, yeah, this is how you won the last couple of challenges that you ran. Being selfish. And you had a partner. You weren't by yourself. But whatever. CT is in his post-confessional like, yo, this chick is annoying. She just needs to go down into elimination. Like, what? She's not a team player. She just needs to play. Michelle, Emily, Ryan, and Rachel, you know, console Cara, who's crying. Like I said, Laurel speaks to Theo and Kyland. Josh, Emily, and a bunch of others meditate. And then we get to elimination. CT and Tina versus Emily and Nehemiah. I already knew that was going to happen. I already knew that. Devin is a strategist, very meticulous. I already knew that was going to happen. Tina goes and bombards through the nails. Like, the way she went through it, it was like they weren't even hammered in. And they probably weren't. There's no way. Because you can see everyone else tried Tina's technique after they saw what Tina did, and they could not get the nails out. So clearly whoever set up Tina's board didn't really put the nails in. It's clear as day. Because Emily tried to do it, she cannot get it out. Tina ends up winning. Nehemiah ends up winning. And that's what we have here. I think it's really, really dope. But then we get to the targets. We have Derek and Rachel, because that's the only girl left on Era 1. Then we have Laurel and Johnny, because Nehemiah doesn't like Laurel. And, yeah, Tina doesn't like Johnny. Let's be clear. Then we have Corey, who volunteers himself, and Johnny, who doesn't want to step up, but Nehemiah calls her name out anyway. Johnny was a bit annoyed because she didn't think that Nehemiah would ever say her name, but he did. And then we have Jenny and Josh volunteers because CT is taken out. He's such a pussy. Even though he has little arms now and he seems like he takes showers, Josh is just such a pussy. Like, what? But anyways, I love CT, and it sucks to see him gone, but it is what it is. I need y'all to leave y'all comments below and let me know what y'all think. And then I'm about to go to Twitter right now to see what's being said real quick. And what do you know? There's already comments on there. There's already comments. Okay, let's go. Let's see what they're saying. Let's see what they're saying. Let's see what they're saying. All right, so Kyland says, FYI, the fight in the episode is not the fight I'm referring to in my confessional. Just before the big blow up, everyone is talking about, there was a 30-second exchange also in the kitchen that I was there for. It seemingly ended. I left, and that's what I'm commenting on. Oh, okay. Kyland also says, always remember the confessionals talking about dailies and eliminations are recorded after we know the results. Paulie then says, the looks we saw on the castmates' faces during the argument is all that really needs to be said. As challengers, we see a lot of crazy shit, so it takes a lot to have those faces looking the way they did. Thank you to the castmates that had her back. I wish I was there to help. I wish you were too, because I don't think that she would have inserted herself if you were there. Sorry I wasn't able to watch the episode live with you guys. I was flying today. We'll share my complete thoughts and my recap. But how are y'all feeling after tonight's episode? I might make one more clarifying comment on TikTok just to comment on some things important to me, but this tweet is muted because I'm not going to get in a back and forth with anyone on social media. Kyland is receiving a lot of hate. A lot of hate. CT and Tina arguing and immediately apologizing is the kind of grown people we love to see. Can we please stop casting Laurel Stuckey on the challenge between all of the toxicity she threw at Cara, Maria, Laurel, Emily, Ryan, and Tony this season? She does not represent the show. I think that's what he was trying to say. She's truly a dark soul. Stuff they edited out. Laurel brought up Cara's exes who were abusive to her in the past. That's why she was saying, I had your back. The fight was so bad, the producer who separated them started crying. Cara left the house to see a mental health expert. Weaponize abusive trauma from my past, pull it out of nowhere, and use it in an argument while you're screaming at me and almost reenacting it. Cara speaks on what actually happened during her fight with Laurel. Full video is on TikTok.
Be tossed away in the trash and burned and never brought up ever again to the screens because it doesn't need to, because it's completely irrelevant. What she had actually said is something that I have to dance around here, and it's something that cannot legally put on TV. In essence, she mimicked past abuse that I have endured while towering over me and screaming at me saying I had your back when. She basically weaponized my past trauma, pulled it out of nowhere. What she did do is absolutely trigger something deep inside me that I didn't even know was there to set off. It was almost like you just lit a bomb is what happened. So when she screamed at me and threw things that have happened to me in my past that she knew about while mimicking it just unleashed me, and I went into like another mental space. Yeah, it's one thing to yell and say, oh, you're worthless, nobody likes you, I'm never going to be your friend, or blah, blah, blah. That's fine, and I can deal with that all day. I've dealt with it in the past. It's another to weaponize abusive.
Okay, so first off, Cara is gorgeous. This lighting on her hair, she looks amazing. And yes, Cara is 100% right. But the thing with going after someone, Cara, you can't dictate how they're going to respond to you. You just can't. Is Laurel trash? Yes. But did you need to go after her? No. So I don't know why we would expect Laurel to take the high road when in the episodes leading up to this, she did not take the high road. She told Laurel, go keep getting massages from freaking Emily. Aren't you married? Laurel is trash. She doesn't care what comes out of her mouth. So I don't even understand still why Cara went after her like that. I don't get it. I don't get it. Corey's saying they hate to see us last this long. I'm always on her side, by the way. Cara pokes at people, and when they snap back, she cries the victim, and everyone falls for it each and every time. I mean, I'm kind of saying that here. She should have just left Laurel alone. Just leave her alone. Emily, I love you so much, Cara. I definitely have your back. Also, Emily, you bring stuff on yourself, so I'm gonna give you a 3. Two things can be true at the same time, guys. Two things can be true at the same time. Nicole Zanata sitting at home watching to the challenge 40 like, Laurel, you look good. Emily, you look better. And that's why you got last place in the final, Kyland. Ciao. People don't like Kyland. Being a villain and having fans invested in one thing is one thing. Being a literal bully who brings up abuse, I don't know, man. I don't know. How she's getting support from people and saying she brings drama when it's just her being literally abusive and gaslighting. Laurel's trash. She's trash. CT giving Cara a 5. I like CT. All the girls consoling Cara while Laurel has to run to Kyland and Theo for sympathy tells me all I need to know about which of the two is the actual problem. And we'll stop it there. Listen, I need you guys to leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought. Are you Team Cara or are you Team Laurel? Two things can be true at the same time. Two things can be false at the same time. And it is what it is. Deuces.